Greetings from Mount Esther. Pikes Peak is just one mountain south that way. My name is Rachel MacNair. I am a peace activist of long standing. I majored in peace and conflict studies at Earlham College, which is a Quaker college, being myself a Quaker pacifist. I've been active against nuclear weapons and war and death penalty and all for positive peace promotion and alternatives to violence for a long time. And so I'm directing this message to my fellow peace activists, particularly in Colorado, because you'll be voting on Initiative 120 on November 3rd this year, 2020. I was attending a conference once where a speaker was giving an excellent presentation about how important it is to include all human beings in the human community. No one is left out. No group is discriminated against. It was an excellent presentation except for one thing. There was one and only one mention of people with disabilities. And that was when she said that if she were pregnant and discovered late in the pregnancy that she was carrying a fetus with some form of detectable disability, she would have an abortion. And she was saying this in the middle of a speech that was dedicated to how we include all members in the human community. Now, how do you think that's going to hit people who do live with disabilities? And we've made so much progress since the Americans with Disabilities Act and various other things. We have made so much progress in understanding that, of course, we accommodate people because that's what we do with members of the human community. And yet, here is the one time when people can say such startlingly cruel things to people with disabilities. They shouldn't be born. If we know about it in advance, they shouldn't be allowed to be born. How do you think that hits people who are living with disabilities now? It does not feel very inclusive. Okay. We need to think this through carefully. It's not just a right-wing, left-wing divide. It's not a clear and simplistic thing. There are things to think through on this, and it's important. Now, there are 3 ways to vote on Initiative 120. Yes, no, and abstain by skipping it. I think a no vote is a vote in favor of bigotry against people with disabilities. I will say it that strongly. And I ask my fellow peace activists, I'm actually not a citizen of Colorado, but I am a taxpayer of Colorado. But I do ask my fellow peace activists in Colorado to think this through carefully when you're deciding how to vote on an Initiative 120 on November 3rd in Colorado in 2020. Thank you.